I should probably hit. All right. Take notes. Crank out some paper. Let's see some notepad up. Let's see some Word.
Yep.
Let's start rhyming this. Samba. Does anything rhyme with Samba? Hamba? Tampa? Tampa will work. I set my Samba up in Tampa. My grandpa set my Samba up in Tampa. Moo. All righty, guys. All right, guys. Let's everybody say hello. Remember, you need to do this locally. Why? Because we're testing. Don't do this on your doohickey thingy yet. Your big ESXi server yet. All right, guys in rack 3. How's it going? Do you need any help installing Samba?
I already got it.
That's why I'm not worried about it. All right. Sudo apt-get install Samba. Password. And then yes. So we install this bad boy. Again, pretty straightforward on Samba. Samba's not a huge issue. What Samba does is allows your Windows boxes to talk to your Unix servers. That's interesting. You always get interesting stuff. Really interesting, yeah. And just work off the box you got. Samba is going to hook your box up from 1.2 to another. That's interesting. IP not found, 91.189.91.50. Unable to fetch some archives. Huh. Oh, that's interesting. Where did DNS go? No, we're good there. Yep. All right, that's interesting. So we didn't get what we wanted to. Wow, I hit an error. That's kind of cool. Well, that's kind of interesting. So pwd. Ooh, that really didn't go. That's just interesting. No, I can actually reach it. Yeah. Well, no, what's just interesting is when in doubt, update. So that's kind of interesting that it kind of blew out on not being able to find cups. Cups is your printer support, right? So cups is really kind of an interesting program so that you could actually tie your printer into Samba. So let's do a real quick update on this and see what we got. All right. There we go. That's much better. Yeah, okay. So if you run into that error, just do a quick update and see what we got. Always interesting. Always, always, always interesting. All right. So everybody get to where we need to be? Did everybody install Samba? Still kind of doing its thing?
Yeah.
All right, so DNS may be glitchy today, and that's not because we're running DNS servers.
Does that mean I got it?
Yep, now see if you can go into Etsy Samba. No, just CD into it. Yep. So where you want to be when you're done is in Etsy Samba. Right down here, Etsy Samba. And SMB conf, yes. So you should see 2 file, GDB commands, and SMB conf. Everybody with me? We are. Are you guys with me? Yep. All right, you're good. Do it on your local box. All right.
Had somewhat of a lift off from 22 to 30.
There you go. 1% outstanding.
Yeah.
All right. All right. In relationship to everything that you guys have done with multiple configuration files, multiple oh my goshes, and multiple other technical things that made your head swim, this one's really super easy. Right? This one's really super easy. So if you go sudo nano smb.conf, this is the file you want to edit. All right? Simple configuration files. That's it. Yeah. CONF. All right. For you, your work group is your domain. So remember how Windows does things, right? You have work group, you have coop, comp, conseco, and everybody else that kind of goes along with it. What you want to do is you want to change this over from work group to not instructor, but your rack number. So your rack 2, rack 6, rack 3, rack 7, rack 4,927,000,000 billions. All right? So your work group. So that identifies what group you're actually in, right? Your work group, just like you would with a domain or with anything else, right? If we're actually doing a domain, you could actually put in the whole domain, right? But because we're just doing a work group here, we'll just call it whatever rack you're in. Yes, sir? Eventually, yeah. But the good part is because so many people have already started working on their final, I'm going to totally upend your final for you. Uh-huh. Because I'm the instructor, and arbitrary acts of instructor are sometimes entertaining for the instructor.
And the instructor only.
You don't have to remove the comment on any of these lines.
Not yet. All right, wins. What's wins? What do you all remember about wins? Windows, Internet Service, blah, blah, blah. Network service. If you are running wins, if your computer system is running wins, which some networks will, uncomment this, wins support. Uncomment it and change it to yes. Right? If your network is going to run that, you don't have to do that. Right? And I'm just going to kind of leave this where it is. Right? If you have a Win server, if you actually have a server that's running that protocol, right, just poke in the IP address. DNS proxy, no. Name resolve orders, LM host, broadcast. Again, this is designed totally for a Windows network. Right? It's going to look up localhost first because everybody else is going to know about how this works. If you believe that your Samba is acting weird, it will make its own log underneath var log, Samba log. All right? So if you need to debug your Samba installation, this is the place you go. Var log Samba. All right? If you want to just let the thing go, otherwise it's just going to cap out at 1,000 meg. So a little less than a gig. All right? If you want it to just drop to the syslog only, instead of having a separate log, change this over to yes. Yeah, and again, these are all things that you can do. Security user, always a good idea. Require the Unix account on this server for every user accessing this server. Here's the interesting part. Because we set up LDAP, and LDAP doesn't necessarily interface with our Etsy password, Etsy shadow, right? You really want to leave that as no. You want to leave that completely off. Because otherwise you're going to be making an account on the Unix box for that user, which means you could end up with some pretty bulky, unwieldy password and shadow password files, right? So always leave this as no. because we're going to let LDAP handle that. Right? Encrypt passwords. Is encrypting passwords a good idea? Win. For the win. Encrypting passwords is always a good idea. Right? Honestly. Obey Pam. Do we always want to obey Pam? Yes. Why? Because Pam is awesome. Pam is absolutely awesome. Unix password sync. Yeah, you can do that. Right? Sync the Unix password, the SMB password, and the encrypted SMB password is changed. Yes. All right. Nope. Password program, user bin, password chat allows people to know what's going on. If you want to go ahead and give them a specific thing, like don't pick a stupid password, it just says enter new password here. But if you want to say don't enter a stupid password, like your cat, your dog, your car, something like that, you can always change those messages around. Just remember that people may be actually seeing these in real life, so try to keep it clean. All right? PAM password program. Yep. Domains. Do you want to allow domain logins? So when you set up your domain in Active Directory, do you want to be able to pass these things through back to an Active Directory? You can actually do that here. All right?
Is there a reason the semicolon is there that because part of the line is better?
No, that's another way of commenting stuff out. And right now, all we're really going to do is change where we log in, but I kind of wanted to go through the configuration file so you knew if you wanted to do something a little bit more custom for your, or if I wanted you to do something a little bit more custom, you have this videotape to go back and refer to. All right? All right? And then login script, login command, and then all kind of the rest of it, right? But the only thing we're really going to go ahead and change, if you want to actually have them use printers through your system, if you want to be a print server, you can set up your printers here, and we do have a printer, all right? And then any of the following other stuff that you may want to include. So the only thing that we really needed to change was what domain we were a part of, what work group we were a part of, all right? And that was it. So change your work group over to whatever your rack number is, and all of you can be on the same one, all right? And then go ahead and exit, save it, and then restart. So we'll read the configuration file again. What do I type to restart? Nope, it didn't do it here. All right, but you do want to restart it so that you can actually get the configuration file to read in. And outside of that, that's it. That's all there is to Samba. Totally easy. And so that's it. Any questions? No, I didn't. I have to actually restart the box to get it to read the configuration file in. Until I figure Samba's not in here. So I need to go find it. Yes. Could be. Yeah, that's working. Okay. So that's it. All right, that's Samba. Is Samba hard? Is Samba the easiest thing you've done yet? Okay, so at this point in your career, you should have a DNS server, you should have an LDAP server, you should have a Samba server, you should have an Apache server, not bad for a couple of weeks. So you guys want to muck about with this a little bit? And actually get Samba up and running, and then finish up with all the other stuff you've got to do. So right now on your individual boxes, you should either have 1, 2, 3, or 4 virtual boxes with each of these up. Your rack boxes should be completely empty, just devoid of anything but an operating system, right? Yeah, the operating systems I told you to put on. There should be 4 of them that have no configuration done at all. There should be. Should be. Yeah. All right. So what comes after this is, does anybody need a refresher on MySQL? All right. So, does anybody really want a refresher on MySQL, or did you guys get beat to death with that last term?